This young lady has so much sense that I thought that it would be a good time to give out some flowers, so to speak. I think I've heard a lot of different women speak with some common sense. This probably has to be one of the most rational ones. So let's talk about it.
What's the goddamn button? What's the goddamn button? I have a saying in the school that I have online where the single you is the married you, right? So even when I'm single, I am looking the same as when I'm married. I'm talking the same as when I'm married. There's certain language I don't use. There's certain clothing that I don't put on, even when I'm single. But what women want to believe is the single them is different than the married them, that all of a sudden they're going to become modest and they're going to speak a different way and do a different thing. No, baby, I cook now, clean now. I take care of myself, I take care of the people in my life. I dress modestly. I make sure that I'm clean in my speech, right? The single you is the married you.
So what you got to say about the women who be like they're in the soft girl era, the villain girl era, and hot girl summer?
Life is about patterns, though, and what you've done in the past, there's a pretty strong chance that you're going to do it in the future. So that's what people don't realize, that when you practice being degenerate, that's not something you're going to lay down overnight. I tell men this too. Can we be honest? Men who are hoes, men who are out here sleeping around and then think that a ring is going to keep them faithful. It isn't. That's your pattern. That's what you've been doing. So the chances of you continuing to do that is pretty high. Like I really believe in the single us is the married us. So that's why I carry myself a certain way all the time, regardless of my relationship status. There are certain things I'm not going to do, whether I'm single or married. That's what I want our people to return to. And we used to be this way. And that's how Black women got husbands, is being modest and being feminine and being, yes, I know how to make homemade biscuits.
She cooked. She absolutely was right. So let's clear some things up. Men, I think the word hoe doesn't apply because that's typically associated with females. But let's come up with a term that's equal to that. Because men who are sleeping around with multiple people, you're absolutely for the street as well. I need to figure out a nice term for it, because you are definitely just as bad as women. The double standard there is not real. And we need to go ahead and put that on the table as well. When you sleep with multiple people, you are inviting in different spirits. You don't understand that you're picking up generational curses. You don't understand that you're picking up habits and things that's going to fuck you over later on, because you're more or less focused on what you see in the flesh. You can't even see beyond that. Let's get that clear. Men can be hoes too. The wording is just poor. We need a word that matches that, but you're definitely the same. You're no different than women that do it. Now, I think the problem is you assume that it affects women negatively more, which is probably true. I would say if we had like balance beams, not balance beam, fuck the scale, it would definitely tip towards them more being affected more with that. All right. But it does affect men because men go to jail way more and die a lot more. I never understood why people tried to make it seem like men are so cool at being able to sleep with multiple people, celebrate it more, making it seem like it's more of a flex when that shit is not true, my nigga. Y'all niggas be going to jail and getting put in the early grave over women all the time. So, like, if that shit was really such a flex, then we wouldn't see so many women shooting y'all and breaking y'all shit up and all. We wouldn't see all of this if that was the case. Sin is sin. It don't really matter who wears the suit. Now, the other thing that I want to address is the single version of you is more likely going to be the married version of you. I understand completely what she's talking about. See, if you've never done the work on yourself and you spend most of your life being in the street, fucking and sucking and doing all the nasty shit in the world that you want, but the odds of you being able to disable that part of your life is difficult. It's extremely difficult. Only God and Jesus himself can put it or impart in you the things needed to make that transformation possible. That's why the whole body count conversation is significantly important, even though y'all want to say it isn't your past. It's not even just like the body count itself, it's your history. It's not even about the amount of penises. It's the history. It's about the type of people that you dealt with before me. Because there's different passions, different levels of intimacy that you had with various folks. And the shit that you dealt with in comparison to the following individual. It's a lot of things that change you physiologically. So for men and women, who you are prior is definitely going to be an impact on who you are in the future. Like if you're going to gamble, you're more likely going to invest in someone who doesn't have the same levels of damage as the next person. Because it takes a lot. It takes a hell of a fucking lot to recover from the type of mental, spiritual bullshit with somebody who's dealt with a whole lot of people versus someone who hasn't really had that time or experience. But y'all be ignoring that. You think having experience makes them more likely to be a better candidate. That's not always true. I would even argue that that's probably the complete opposite of true. In fact, look at Vivica Fox and Diamond from Players Club. These older women who's my why you think there's people, aunties and shit that ain't never been married or been divorced 5-6 times and all that shit? Yeah, the patterns. Y'all never broke up the patterns. You never stopped doing the stupid shit that you were doing when you were younger. Because you think somehow, some way, there's nothing wrong with you and you don't need to change anything. All right. I agreed with this. This was one of the most logical sounding uploads that I've reacted to so far from a woman in general. And I've seen some very level-headed What do y'all think? You agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section.
Merry Christmas, filthy animals.